welcome to Empowering Talks. We are here at the Forbes Middle East Women's Summit, and we are joined by Alison Rehill-Erguven. It is so great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you as well. And you're a leader with over 20 years of experience in the shopping mall and real estate industry. So first of all, before we get into your expertise and the questions, I just want to know how your day has been at the summit so far. How have you been enjoying it?
This is a wonderful summit. We have been coming since I got to Saudi, which is 3 years ago, 3.5. We have been coming, and we also sponsor. And I take that very seriously. So it's a pleasure not only to be here, but to see the women here, to see the phenomenal speaker lineup. I was just on stage and I had the opportunity to explain also what we're doing as a company, and how we're very, customer-led and female-led. So it's been a good day so far.
I love that. And I think as we spend more and more time at the summit, it's becoming more evident how, women leaders are actually making so much change. They're reshaping industries, and they're driving sort of a lot of impact across so many different sectors. So I want to touch upon your own journey. What do you think are the key enablers or perhaps mindsets that have been the most important in helping women thrive in leadership roles?
I'll start with mindset and then I can get to my own journey. I think confidence cannot be overrated. I think confidence is key. And I think women suffer a lack of confidence or a feeling of insecurity. I know that I still have it on occasion, but we deserve a seat at the table. Many of the time we're there and we know more than our counterparts, male or female. And we just need to remember that and to remind ourselves and to take a breath and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. In terms of my journey, it's been filled with many things. I would say mentors, male and female, executive coaching, which I have found incredibly useful, especially at times of pivot or transformation where I knew I needed to go in a different direction. Executive coaching was super, super helpful with that. Also being a part of women's networks, not just like this, but if you're lucky enough to have a company that has a women's network, join it, be a part of it. We launched our own Cenomi Women's Network last year, which I'm really proud of. And education. That's, back to keep moving forward. I am such a strong believer in education, even myself. We're never too old to learn.
That's for sure. I mean, so education, having a solid network and sort of having that guidance can really make all the difference. So thinking about, all of these enablers in practice, you have extensive experience, managing retail and real estate ventures. So how do you see women's leadership sort of influencing innovation and customer experience when it comes to the shopping mall and real estate sector?
So I was just on stage and I was saying something in a similar frame, which is that, I've been fortunate enough to work almost around the globe in this sector, specifically retail real estate. And there is one universal truth, which is females make the majority of the purchasing decisions in a household. And it doesn't matter where you live in the world. That is a universal truth. And so what we do, though, is everybody's different and every culture is different and maneuvers differently. So first and foremost, we base everything off of research. And we try to understand how she shops, why she shops, when she shops, what does she shop for? And then once we've got that down, then you start designing for her. You start curating the brands and the tenant mix, for her or her family. Even food, whether it's socioeconomic or just different types of cuisine, even services, the introduction of baby changing rooms, personal shopping, which will, come to next year, parking for pregnant ladies, things that people don't think of. But, when you're female led and consumer centric, we end up designing and building around that. And again, that's doesn't matter where I've lived. It's the key lead
I think once you have that understanding and perspective, you're able to create a more curated experience in a way, which is very, very important. So it's amazing that this is something that is like a core value to you. Finally, I mean, you have led organizations and joint ventures in both developed and emerging markets as well. I'm curious about the strategies that you perhaps found most effective for empowering diverse teams and fostering female talent in traditionally male-dominated industries.
I am a firm believer in collaboration. I do not like silos and I break down walls. So I force, if I have to, I'll force feed collaboration. And, when I first got to Saudi, we had a lot of silos going on and it took some time. People don't like to change. But then once we broke through, I'd like to believe now that we have a culture of collaborators, people that look for each other and ensuring that we are supporting our female employee. When I got here, we had less than 30% of the females in the company. We're now close to 35. We have a new grad program. I am enforcing that at least 50% of those new grads are female, which it wasn't, at the beginning. So I think if you want change, you have to, be the leader of change. It comes from the top down, right? So, besides that, we also focus on education. And, I'm a big, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big believer in education. But there's female education that we need to do on leadership, on emotional intelligence, public speaking, which doesn't necessarily always come naturally, conflict resolution, which can be super critical, especially when you're dealing with, a male-dominated environment, having those tools. It's about providing tools. Yeah. But also, females have a tendency to be more empathetic and more kind. And I don't, no matter where I've lived, I've always tried to lead with some empathy and some kindness and courage.
I think that sense of empathy is really what distinguishes women. And even though it's been seen as a source of weakness in the past, it's actually not. It gives you a lot of perspective, and you're able to actually sort of enforce that within your leadership style.
Absolutely.
Which is
And don't be afraid to fail. So once you create an empathetic environment where people feel safe, then you get more innovation, you get more creativity, you'll get more leadership, you'll get more, because people will not be afraid to fail. They pick themselves up and keep going.
100%. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
With us. All right.
Great. Have a good day.
You too.